shouldn't be calling them out. Because it's just more.
very political city. We have our provincial government, parliament in place, Quebec political capital of the province. Also a public function city, 40,000 people working for the provincial government. Right in town, largest employer, and that's without counting the federal government, which employs many people. Overall, it's nearly 100,000 people that works for the provincial government throughout the province. And in town, most of our government buildings are on Parliamentary Hill. We'll make our first stop there. Then, being a military city, gradually as we'll drive around, we'll explain on how our city was fortified. And the Citadel we'll drive by later on. It's still an army base. Show you where to get in. It's home of 200 Bandus, they're called. 2nd Battalion of the Royal 22nd Regiment, Canadian Armed Forces. So that's one of the only entire French regiment we have in the armed forces today. And they're nicknamed Bandus. It's quite funny where the name is from. Anglophones couldn't say 22, which translates to 22. They're saying Bandus. That's how they've been known since World War I. Then, being a religious city, where we are still inside the walls, about a dozen churches for about 4,000 residents today living inside the walls. Roman Catholic is our main religion in Quebec, about 80%, brought in by the French after 1608. We also have what they call British religions, those that were brought in after 1759, the year British took over a city. Anglican, Protestant, Presbyterian, Evangelist, Baptist, name them. Today, architecture, religions, fortifications are the three best things we still have in place, telling us about our two main presences we had since the early foundation of Quebec, both French and British. Then, an historical city, Quebec's one of the oldest cities in North America, founded July 3rd, 1608 by Samuel of Champlain. In 08, it was our 400th anniversary of our city. Lots of landscaping work, lighting up a building was done. And then, being a touristic city, normally we average between 4 and 6 million visitors a year, and around 15% of our total revenues would be from tourism. Main revenues in Quebec, industrial service, everything which is office working. Right after that, tourism. Quebec itself is 491,000 people and will be 715 outskirts included. Simon's department store brought it overseas, had it restored, then gave it the city as a gift of 400. Plains of Abraham we're going to go and see. Big city park. Takes its name after Abraham Martin, first pilot of the King we had on the St. Lawrence River. He was also the man who brought in the first French colonists from France up to here. Just as we're passing by, a convention center is right here.
Okay.
And then we also call the park Quebec Battlefield Park, September 13th, 1759. Big battle, the Plains of Abraham, between Wolfe and Montcalm, between the French and the British.
Right.
That is the day that Quebec became British after that big battle. Majorly French came here with only 1,500 professional troops. Rest were native Indians, farmers, people like us not trying to kill. British had over 5,000 to 7,000 professional troops. British were much stronger back then. What really happened is during the summer before the big battle took place, Montmorency Fall battle east from here, where we go on the country tour, won by the French. Because of that, British got more help from England, stationed 140 ships on the river, installed 4 batteries of cannons around the city, and shooting nearly 40,000 cannonballs on the city.
That pretty much demolished the city, I guess.
60%. And then French were really hit hard, thought the British were going to be doing a final attack by the east. What happened is overnight, British were able to find out a way. They could easily climb up the hill, settle down, surprise the French by the west. So French were not prepared, lost nearly 800 troops, British around 500. Both of the generals were killed. The battle lasted max 10-20 minutes long, and officially Nouvelle-France, New France, that's how the colony was called, became the province of Quebec with the signature of the Paris Treaty held in 1763, which put an official end to the 7 Year War in Europe. Right before, this is our opera house called the Grand Theatre of Quebec. Symphonic Orchestra also performs there. So to resume on what we're saying, before 1608, Quebec was native, until 1759 French, until 1867 British, since July 1st, 1867, Canada.
I don't know, I think Quebec is pretty French.
Yeah.
The British may have won the battle, but I think the French are
well, the straight of our French culture is to preserve what we always been minority in Canada. So, since 1985, Quebec's been a World Heritage City of the UNESCO, which means United Nations for Science, Educational, Culture Organization. No more than 10 stories high, the maximum height of buildings today.
right.
Those higher, mainly building of 60s, early 70s. You got an example on the left, Lowe's Concord with its revolving restaurant L'Estrade. We'll explain that tower after. There'll be another one up front. First, fortifications that were once built in Quebec French to prevent native Indian invasion. All those we have in today British that were built to prevent an American invasion. Right here on the left, it's called the Gardens of Joan of Arc. It's the place where June the 24th, 1880, our old Canada anthem was sang for the first time, written by two Quebecois named Québec Saint-Lavalée, Adolphe Foutier. Another tower on the left, Martelot Towers. They're called most western outside fortifications that were built between 1808 1811, prevented attack from the west as the British did with the French. With the years, the west side of our city became the most important side we had to defend. We'll explain it, and it's really amazing to realize how much British have been able to fortify the whole entire city. What made these towers unique is no matter where they were built, you always had one side twice as thick as the other side. Logically, the side you had to defend, you're going to use a thicker side. Staircase side on the left, east, 2 meters, 6 feet thick. Side facing west, a plain stone wall, nothing on, 12 feet thick. We won't go on it, but it's a little similar. We'll see going back on Grande Allée, outdoor cafes, bistros, restaurants, nightlife. And then, with the years, the west side of our city became so important to be defended. It's very easy to understand. The way Quebec is built is on top, long, narrow cliff. 9 miles long, about 1 mile wide in average. We're on the top of it. What we have where we started our tour, natural fortifications or natural barriers. St. Lawrence River on our left, St. Charles River on the right, the Laurentian Mountain side, Big Top, Cliff over Diamond Cape, too steep to be climbed 100 meters, actually that means 300 feet or more high, and the enemy could be seen from all the way around. Western end as we're heading, there were 3 ways the enemy could attack Quebec: southwest, west, and northwest, because of a high elevated cliff. 9 miles of additional land facing west defend. We're facing west right now. What happened is when the British took over a city after 1759, they said they'd never get attacked. By the same side, they did attack the French. That's why they've built 3 gates, 3 bastions, 4 Martelot towers, and the big fort, all facing west. That's why after that, Quebec really became impossible to be taken from all the way around. As we're gonna get on the park, there's a monument straight up front that shows the exact place where British General Wolfe was killed the morning the big battle took place. They say between this monument, Martello Tower number 1, where the big battle took place. The brown building on the left used to be your old prison, in use until the 1960s. It's an interpretation center to the attached granite building next to it, National Museum of Fine Arts, where we have our major exhibits. It's gray granite built. It's a local stone. Quarries are now north, now south. Many of our main buildings are granite built. Many of our sidewalk curbs are granite built. Long-lasting, resistant stone. Quebec province, huge producer of granite. Chances are, if you have some of your kitchen or bathroom countertops, might be from here.
I've got granite countertops.
Yeah. Then Gray Terrace, we're going to park by. It takes its name after Albert Gray. He was Governor General of Canada back in 1908. The year they celebrated the 300th anniversary of Quebec. That is the same year they founded the National Battlefield Commission, which is the organization preserving all of the battlegrounds across Canada. They run an average budget of nearly $5 million to take care of the whole park here every year. So because Albert Gray was the one that made possible the creation of this park, that's why they gave the name of Gray Terrace right here on the left. 1,840 miles, St. Lawrence River, third longest river in North America after Mississippi and Mackenzie River. By far main entrance, the other two are Hudson's and Mississippi River. 1959, Canada and U.S. inaugurated the St. Lawrence Seaway. Today we average between 6,000 and 10,000 ships navigating the river both directions. Bed for water runoff in spring. That is the way the British took right here on the left to climb up the hill to surprise the French morning September 13th. At the bottom you have L'Anse-au-Foulon, Wolf Cove, where British landed. It's also the same spot where lots of Europeans landed in North America. After World War II, Quebec with Halifax were two big port of entrances for European immigration. Then,
what's your demographic mix up here?
Oh, mainly French, sure.
Okay.
Then, sporting area of the park here. We're going to head back to the old city. Sporting area of the park. We used to have on the right here a horse race track. Kept it with the oval shape. People can rollerblade, jog, walk. You're starting to see a track appearing. 8 miles of groomed ski trails for cross-country skiing in winter. Normally we average 9 feet. We had a little less the last 2 winters. 09, 2010 we only had 4.5 feet, which is not enough for us. Big drought during the summer, no rain. 07, 08 it was totally the opposite, 18.5 feet of snow, record of all time by over 3 feet that year. It snowed so early in November the soil never got a chance to freeze over. Melted record amount of time we had. Also rain the whole summer, 400 floodings every year, so it's different every year. 265 acres total size of the park. 10th biggest city park in the world after the one in Tokyo. It's a park that's been designed by a landscape architect called Frederick G. Todd. Used to be from School of Fredlaw Homestead, you might have heard. Did the main North American city parks like Central Park, Mount Royal Park in Montreal, Boston Public Gardens. By the way, look at the size of the elm here. We'll talk about it right here.
Yeah. 200
years old. And that's the reason why so many city parks are similar between each other, because of Fredlaw Homestead. Then, name of the street we're on is Grande Allée. Grande Allée was a street that was going to lead you straight up to Fort and Chateau St. Louis, where Chateau Frontenac is today. Look at the red oak here, about 170 years old. You got a big sugar maple right here on our left, which is about 140 years old. Okay.
I would expect oak trees would do very well in this climate.
No, we don't have lots. I'll explain you why. So, in French, an alley, in the word Grande Allée, is a street or an avenue which has a lot of big trees on each side. People don't realize how much trees only grow max 8 months of the year in Quebec. Rest of the time, trees don't grow, they're frozen. So what happens, our city will put an average of about $1 million to take care of the trees every year. It takes way more time than where you live to grow. Even protect them with wood slabs like you see against the sidewalk machines we have.
Right.
Then, like elsewhere, the closer we get to the old city, the more expensive and the older houses get. All these houses on the right, Victorian houses built in the 1850s, pure British architecture. It's one of the good proof about the presence of the British in Quebec with religions and fortifications we were talking about earlier. This part of the Grenadie, we're on most popular strip outside the walls. We often compare with the Champs-Élysées in Paris. Nightlife, bistros, outdoor terraces, gets crowded when it's nice weather. Gets loaded of ice sculptures during the winter carnival. First 2 weeks of February, 1 million people in 2 weeks, 20% of annual tourism in 2 weeks. And we see lots of people walking long red canes. They unscrewed a head of Bonhomme that represents a snowman. He's the mascot of our winter carnival. They're going to fill up with caribou. My personal recipes, 2/3 of port wine mixed with 1/3 of whiskey. Comes in about 20%. That's what keeps me warm in winter. The reason why we don't have lots of oaks in the 1800s, there was a royal embargo on oaks and white pine, saying they had to be kept for the King of England until ships. So that 3 gates defend that side. This one here is St. Louis. You have Kent, Saint Jean. We used to have 7 gates. There's only 5 of them left today. You got these 3 I just named. Prescott Gate next to Chateau Frontenac, built 1983. Dalhousie Gate inside the Citadel. The only still original gate left in Quebec. Gates were much smaller, mainly large in the 1870s.
Well, I'm glad that the people preserved all of this, because so many places would.
If you want to come to the Citadel, that's the way we just took here. You take the left entrance for the guided tours. Okay? Are you going to come back?
Yes.
All right. Dress warmly, in and outside. Okay?
Yeah.
Even if it's warm, if it's in the shade there, but you'll have amazing point of views on the river if they take you inside and protect themselves. Last time Quebec was attacked, 1775. Citadel, all fortifications never been used to defend the city. Home of 200 Vendus, rest are stationed at Cartier Military Base. Huge army base. 45 minutes northwest of Quebec. Right nearby, we used to have the Ice Hotel in the previous years. This past winter was built just 15 minutes north of town. See the first picture is the starship of the fort.
Right.
Second one is a change of the guard, the British traditional ceremony and so on between Quebec's provincial anniversary, June 24th, Labor Day weekend. Chateau Frontenac, your hotel. See this side, and that's why we're still a fortified city today.
I think that's great.
So when they built Dufferin Terrace behind Chateau Frontenac, named it after him, Terrace Dufferin. See at the bottom here on the right, the bottom part of the tree, there's a cannonball stuck in it.
It sure is.
We'll pass by another time in front of it.
How about that?
Probably buried with the years. Came back up to the surface as the tree grew around it. It's one of the 40,000 British cannonballs that fell on our city, which destroyed 60% of it.
What's this, the wrong way?
Yeah.
Tourist.
Yeah, Ontario. See the White House right here on the left?
Yeah.
This is the oldest remaining house inside the wall, Jacques House. Dates back to 1677.
There's a restaurant in there now.
Yeah, and as 60% of the whole city got destroyed, a lot of the houses got to be reconstructed after. Oh. French consulate, this white and blue building to our left, used to be Duke of Kent, Prince Edward. Part of Queen Victoria main residence while Quebec was a British colony. Summer house, Montmorency Manor on top of the falls. Then I want to show you where taxes are going out of your country. American consulate, the orange brick building, the copper roof.
Oh, okay.
Yes. The back part of your hotel will explain on the left, more modern than the rest. And then it's right here we have one of the narrowest point on the river. What I suggest you do, hop on the ferry boat, cross over Lévis, Round trip, and now overall, including waiting time across, between $5–6 a head. You have the best pictures of Quebec, splendid. Have you walked down here, behind your hotel here?
Yes. Yes.
You've seen the view we have on the left?
Right.
From here?
Yeah.
You got the bridge that connects to the island.
Right.
Okay, Isle of Orleans, that piece of land in the middle. All navigation is done on the other side. You got cranes on the point. That's a shipbuilding company called Davy.
Okay.
Right above the bridge, you see a mountain in the haze.
Right.
I see better, maybe with
I
my
see
shade,
it
but
right
okay.
there.
Mount St. Anne, the ski resort.
Okay.
You want to get out?
You wanna? We've been out. We
okay.
walked all up and down this.
Okay. You know what's the wooden railing for on the left on the terrace?
Isn't that a walkway or something?
No, the railing is for slides, for toboggan rides that are coming down the hill straight up front in the winter.
Okay.
See what they've done with your consulate? They thought a bomber was going to get in the building. They put all those pillars last year. See?
Yeah, I see that.
Black ones.
Look like cannons.
Yeah. Your hotel.
Right.
By far, that's what represents the Moser City. It's landmark, largest hotel in Quebec, 618 rooms. It's some say it's the most photographed hotel in the world, and it's for many years it was the only 5-star hotel we had. Now we have 3, and it's the 3rd building to be on the spot. First one was one in Château St. Louis, built by Champlain in 1620. British period of Quebec, Parliament Château, tear down 1892. Château Frontenac early started in 1893, finish in 1924. Construction main tower. They built around first and then up. The back part, may you notice, was much more modern than the rest. Added back in 1993 for its centennial anniversary, and how they had to proceed, use the same exact materials the first part of the building was built with. Same stone granite, same brick, same material for the roof, copper. That's why copper is still brown and hasn't yet much oxidized. Much more modern and really blends well with the rest of the architecture. Saw you filming that girl in tank top in the street up there.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
The redhead.
I saw him filming her.
See, he's not married yet, so.
Oh.
He's allowed.
So you don't have any faults yet. You know what's the first cause of divorce? Marriage. So, St. Louis Street, we're on here. Continuation of Grand Allée. Has a lot of boutiques, restaurants. Will lead us straight where we started, Place d'Armes.
Right.
Used to be an old military drill and parade area between the 1800s. Once you know how to get to Place d'Armes, being the heart of our town, you know your way around. See, at the end of the street on the left, you got the Ursuline School. Oldest girl institution in North America, founded in 1639 by Marie l'Incarnation. Originally came here for religious education for young native girls. 500 young girls and boys now go for elementary school.
The oldest girls' school in the U.S. On North America.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yes, straight up front, Champlain Monument, front of our city. Right behind you'll have Funiculaire, which translates the ground incline. You probably took it or whatever.
Well, we didn't really.
Takes people up and down. The place we'll go next.
We walked.
And then UNESCO Monument I'll show you in a second. We're the only fortified city north of Mexico. Permanent cradle of French civilization in North America. That means we're the first permanent French colony outside of Europe. We had kept our fortifications in good conditions. These were the 3 reasons of our UNESCO nomination back in 1985. It's a little round-shaped monument I'll show you behind the scaffolds there, which has a glass prism inside. The glass prism representing Quebec, part of the 870 UNESCO sites around the world. 25 after 1922 fire, it's all gold leaf decorated inside. Splendid. The white building next to it, Laval University's Architecture School. It's Laval early started in 1852, being the oldest French university in North America. Main campus is in Saint Foy, 37,000 students studying at Laval University today. Then, before I explain City Hall, see there are 3 flags. I don't know if you can see them. The left one is our city flag. Blue de Que France color, white strip around the walls, golden ship, Champlain ship logo over the city. Then you got another church on the left to visit if it's open. Holy Trinity Cathedral right here on the left corner. Anglican Cathedral for Quebec, built in 1804. All the inside is oak tree decorated from the Royal Windsor Force in England. City Hall on the right's been Centennial building since 16 years. It was named National Historical Monument by Canadian Heritage. 90%, you probably notice, of all the buildings inside the walls are historical monuments.
Yes, they are. Plaques everywhere.
2 more churches. We'll take this way to avoid this, but there's one here. St. Andrew's dates back to 1810, Presbyterian Church. And there'll be another one. Go, go, go. See on the right there, you see the...
Yes.
There's one right there. This one is not in use anymore.
Really?
Canadian Institute, it's called. L'Institut Canadien. Old United Church that closed down when I was a kid and got converted to a concert hall. Library underneath, which that happens a lot now these days in Quebec. Used to have nearly 190 of them. Many of them closed down because many parishes were amalgamated together. You'll never see city authorities allow destruction of churches where most of them are historical monuments. So they're always going to be found in another use, a new location. Kent's Gate, second gate facing west. And then nicely out view of the Parliament on the left here. Got a big crown on the top that means that Canada is still part of the British Commonwealth. Oh, sorry. Notice the flags also on the top, we'll explain. There's our provincial flag, blue de Que France color, the white cross, the Roman Catholic Church, been here since the very beginning of the colony. The fleur-de-lis, the King of France flower. Between the crown and the flag, there are 4 tiny lights. When they're lit, it means that our government is sitting inside. But we always say the brighter the lights are, the more lies are told inside. So the flags we saw there, on the top of the Champlain Maisonneuve, I'll explain in a sec. Just notice the street here. That's Saint Jean Street, and that part of Saint Jean, it's called Saint Jean Baptiste Quarters. Has a lot of old European style grocery stores, bistros, cafes. Rainbow area of Quebec. Square drove in here throughout the years with all the different festivals we have. There's a major spot in Old Quebec. And then the flags on the top of the Parliament there, that I think it was a Czech Republic flag and a French flag. That means we have dignitaries right now from the city outside, actually from there, visiting the city and the Parliament. Hopefully they're ambassadors or parliamentaries or something. Actually, this here, you should come. It's open every day between 9 and 6. In the summer, that's where we come and buy our fresh produces for the farm. Farmers are mainly from Beaupré Coast, Isle of Orleans, the country tour. Beautiful fine cheese store, Quebec province today produces over 400 different kinds of fine cheeses, winning prize worldwide for those. You'll have,
I see you ship a lot of grain out of here.
Yeah. The right bottom part, you got St. Paul Street Antiques in our galleries. And on the right top, there's a street, we saw the blue container up there, Rampart Street. Many streets like those, when you walk in Old Quebec, get out of the main street, walk the low residential street. That way you'll appreciate a lot more European architecture Quebec City has to offer. It's safe everywhere. We don't even have an average of 5 murders a year in Quebec. We had 0 in 07, 1 since then each year. 2011 we had a lot, we had 2.
Wow.
Okay. By far the major city, safest major city in Canada.
We killed 2 a weekend in Houston.
Yeah. To do their annual convention here. That's why they gave us that monument. Then you'll have right here on our left behind those brick buildings a cruise terminal that was built 10 years ago at a cost of $19 million. From now on, people are able to start and a cruise in Quebec. Last year was 83,000 visitors on 100 cruise ship stops. The all-time record was 100,000 in 2010. This is Museum of Civilization.
Yeah, we were there yesterday.
Good. Very interesting. Down here, we'll make your next stop is Place Royale. It's where everything started up July 3rd, 1608. Where Champlain had built his two first fortresses called Habitation. Used to be marketplace of her lower town. See right here, the Red Bull race there, arrived right down here.
Yeah.
The white cube you have right there, that's the, they call it a sculpture in France.
Okay.
Yeah, very talented piece of art, as you can see. It's very detailed, very inspiring artwork.
Okay.
Imagine it's the gift that Jacques Chirac gave to Quebec when he was mayor of Paris. After all these years, we've been wondering if the gift is not still inside a box there.
So was this was where the original fortification was, I guess.
This?
Yeah.
This is called the Royal Battery. It's defensive work that was built to prevent an attack on the lower town. Fills in at a high tide, empties at low tide. That way it doesn't flood the street. Where we are, it's all landfilling. They've started landfilling back in the 1730s by asking locals to bring out their rubbish, like many ports around the world started. Ferry boat, you catch it right here on the left. And see, you got a spire of a church right above the first green roof. That's Notre Dame of Victory's Church, built in 1688. Same church as at the end of the famous movie, a famous movie with Leonardo DiCaprio and Tom Hanks. You know which one it is? Instead of
Catch
one,
me if you can.
right on.
You knew? How did you know that?
Yeah, it was here, but it was supposed to be in France.
Yeah. And Aix-la-Chapelle en Provence, where he got caught. Have you walked down here?
Yes, we were down there.
Have you seen the murals? Religion's not part of my daily life. I'll take you behind here. There's a nice spot you can take a picture. Unless the guy is stuck there. No. And then we'll drive back after. This is a marina. And it's, you're asking about, these are grain elevators.
Right.
The summer they have a big projection on it called the Ville of the Images. Started for the 400. The guy uses the whole structure for projecting 400 years of history. All the little boxes you have there suspended on pillars, these are the projectors.
Okay.
That harbor over there is iced solid.
Eh?
There's a lot of ice over there, all right? I don't think it's very thick, though.
Maybe not, but it's...
Now, you need to take a picture of that.
Yeah.
See the scenery here?
Yeah.
Disease.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
We'll take profit of the time left.
How old is he?
68.
That's pretty young.
Yeah. Dad lived till 97 or 96.
Yeah.
His mom 84. He's not gonna make it to that age.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
2 years maybe.
Does he live here local?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
My brother is here in Montreal, but parents are here. So I hope you enjoy. We're gonna drive you back. Goes a little faster with 2 people, eh?
Okay.
Hey,
Personal tour.
you know how much people pay for a tour like this in a private bus in the summer? 350, 400.
Well, the only reason we could stay in the Hotel Fontenot was because of the cheap rate. We looked at the sign posted in the room. that room we're in, they're charged $600 in this, prime season.
Yeah, the high season.
No way we could pay that.
Gary Centrale?
Huh?
Gary Centrale?
That's Central train station, yeah.
That is a